What's up, guys? So today's video is going to be taking a break from Snake to cover something that I saw on the r/redstone subreddit. So somebody posted something about needing something to detect when only one lever was off, and only in the he had like a bunch of levers. He had 6 levers actually, and he wanted to if you flipped one on or you had a bunch on, he wanted to know if one was off. But if like 0 were off, you didn't care, So I made something that did that, and it works for like any amount of inputs you want, but I did it for 8. So basically what's going to happen here is you have 8 different inputs, and this here is going to tell you how many different inputs are on. So this works in binary, so it'll output 1, 2, 3 would be both of these, and then 4 will carry over. So let's try it. Okay, so let's put a 1 in, and you'll see that it tells me that there's a 1 over here. So like if we put in a 2 or a second bit, it's a little slow. It ripples. So this will tell you how many bits are on. So what he can do is then invert each one of these inputs, so it'll tell you that all of them are on. So you basically do this, watch. You invert all of your inputs like this. Give it a second. There it goes. And so it tells you that there's 8 inputs on. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 inputs on. Cool. So now if we remove it, now there's 7. We remove it. 6. Remove 1, 5. 4. And it doesn't matter which one we're removing, like we're just removing some. 3, 2, and now it's at 1. Or what? Whoops! Oh, I flipped the wrong way. And now it's at 1. So here he would send out the flag that would do whatever he wanted to do when it happened to hit that value. So this is how it would work. And if that's the only value he cares about, here's the output for this. So now let me show you how this works. Okay, so what you can see here is a 16-bit example. We have 16 bits here as their input, and then they get broken out. I did this kind of dumb where you didn't need to do this with the carry in, because then I had to do this with the carry, the second or the other input, so it just gets tied to 0. Anyway, so the way this works, these are all 1-bit adders. Every single one of these adders is 1 bit, and so the way this works is it takes each bit of that 16-bit value and breaks it up like this. And then so it doesn't really matter where these go. These can crisscross, but like this neatest way to do it is like this. And so what you do is you add all the values primarily right next to each other. You line them all up and you add them to each other to get like the first result, which will either be a 1 or a 2, or both, 1 and 2, right? So like if you have all 3 of these ones on and this one on, right, that'll be 5 different numbers, but you want to get it to know that's the number 5. So what you have to do is you have to and I came up with this on in my head, like this way it made sense, but I'm sure there's other people out there that can explain like a better way. But like so the way this works is you take these 3 bits, add them together, so that's the value 3, right? 3 makes the value 2, but you only have 1-bit adders to work with. So you have to take the output of this adder and loop it into the carry-in of this adder. It's not the carry-out going into the carry-in, because you need this value to remain a value of 1 going into the carry-in. Carry-out is now a value of 2, because these ones coming in here these ones here are bitwise 1, so coming in here has to be bitwise 1. But if you did carry out of this one, that would be bitwise 2, the value 2, if that makes sense. So the carry out here has to go into the carry in of the next stage, where this stage here with this one, this one, this one, and this one, that represents the 2's bit, right? So these bits here represent the value 1. So these can only add the value 1 as an input. So the carry out here has to represent the value 2. And so then these ones are 2, and so the carry out of these ones is representing 4. So then these ones are 4, and then these ones are 8, and the carry out of this one is then 16. So that's why the sum goes into the carry-in, because if this is a 3, you then want to complete this chain all the way through, which will then tell you at the result at the very end, or right here, sorry. It'll come to this line and it'll tell you if it's 1. So if you see the 2 line comes out of the sum, the last sum, the 4 line comes out of the last sum of the 4s, the 8 line comes out of the last sum of the 8, and then the 16 comes out of the last line, or last carry out of the last line. Because if you see the previous carry out just goes into the input of the adder if there's another one to match with it, but since there's not, you just can use that as an output. And so that's how the device works. Okay, so now that you saw what it looks like 2D, now you can see the walk around here, like this. Okay, so here's the first stage, where it's an adder, and it's modified so that the output of the adder comes back to the carry-in, and not only that, it's too high and however many wide, but like the main part is it's stackable too high. And the person who made this primarily was Data Corruption. He made a 2 tick per bit serial capable adder, and we broke that down and made it do what I wanted it to do. So he helped me a lot with that. It's his original adder, and then I kind of just added my line that I needed here. We found a nice way to like bust this around here. It's like the output to the carry-in right here. It's beautiful. And it uses a lot of trickery, but it's just RCA with carry logic. And it's beautiful. And then here's the outputs here. So like the outputs that we needed are right here, which is nice and easy to take them. And then we put them into another stage here, which is half as tall, because you have half as many outputs. And then this stage has half as many outputs. And then you can see each time the topmost bus here is being taken and used. This topmost bus is taken and used. This topmost bus is taken and used. And then the carry line is taken and used. So that's how we got 1, 2, 4, and 8. And if I put an example in here, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so there should be 5. So you see over here, we get, this right here is telling you that there's a 1. This right here is telling you that there's not a 2. This right here is telling you that there's a 4. And then this line is telling you that there's not an 8. It just works like that. Alright, so now I want to show you something a little cooler, and it's a lot simpler to use and build. So let me reset it. That's the reset button. Okay, so let me get some lamps. Actually, let me get yeah, I'll just use lamps. It's gonna be yeah, actually let me see. I'll show off the texture pack. Okay, so we'll get some trapdoors. Whoops. Bam. Cool. Alright, so let's insert a number. So we'll do just this. Alright, so this has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bits on. So this is going to count the bits, but it's going to do it in serial. So what we're going to do is we press this button and it sends the bits in serial and it'll count the bits. Here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This should be 5. Alright, let's try that again. Okay, so I think I fixed it. This here was rebuilt to match the other ones because the delay was 4 ticks off. So now it will count the last one. And I don't need this anymore. The testing chain. So if I do this, reset this here so the counter's at the right state, and if you see, now when we send the pulse through, and we tell it to read them, like so, it's outputted the last one, and now there should be a 5. And there is. Okay, so now after that hiccup, let's try, and let's add a bit to this. Let's see if it catches that edge. So now it should output 6. So that's cleared. No magic going on here. Read this, it clocks it through. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Comes in over here and does that. So all this is doing is just, sending a pulse through here to read in your inputs one after the other with enough time in between to give a high and low pulse. So I guess I could speed this up because this is working on 3 tick pulses, but this could work on 2 tick. So I can, do that instead and then change some of that delay. But this was a prototype just to see if it would work. So yeah, the serial way of doing it is nice, but you have to clock it in each time. The parallel way, however, updates live time as you flip the levers, although not synchronously. But good enough for the purpose of counting bits. And yeah, that's it. So I hope you guys liked the video, and leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.